IFAD's portfolio of financial assistance or program of work is in the average about $1 billion annually, and for which Africa or sub-Saharan Africa receives close to 40 to 45%. In West Africa, Ghana receives the largest financial assistance. I mean, Ghana's portfolio is the second largest in West and Central Africa. We have supported in Ghana, to be specific, 17 projects. One of them is under design, which is referred to as the Ghana Growth Development Program, which takes off from the Northern Ghana Growth and Development Program. And this is envisaged to bring tremendous opportunities in the rural sector, to be co-financed hopefully with the African Development Bank. And our contribution to this program will be about 35 million, with the African Bank supporting with about $70 million. This is going to be a flagship program for Ghana as a whole. Our activities focus again essentially on agriculture and rural development. So we focus on rural areas. We look at development of capacities of farmers organizations into either cooperatives or groups. We provide financial assistance through rural financing institutions where these do not exist. A lot of emphasis on agricultural productivity, both in food and tree crops, natural resource management, and particularly now with attention to climate change, we have a program which we call Adaptation to Smallholder Program, which is ASAP, which supports, climate sensitive or climate smart agricultural programs. We are now focusing more on youth, but our primary focus has always been on women farmers. Why do I say women farmers? The statistics were given yesterday by Dr. Mayaki, and I referred to it today. Over 50% of farming is done by women. And unfortunately, as you've heard, there is very little attention to the access to inputs or ownership of land or land rights. So we do and we know that through our own experience and other people's experience, when you invest in a woman farmer, you're actually investing in a community, because funds generated by women in farming are immediately invested into their families, into livelihoods, into children's education and health. So it's a priority for us to do that. Now, on the issue of youth, I think the world is experiencing an explosion in youth populations. On the one hand, you have an increasing number of youth coming out of school, out of college, out of universities without employment. And the demands are increasing. All we need to remember is to go back just a few years ago in 2007, 2008, when there was a food crisis. It resulted in uprisings in 40 countries and several in Africa. It brought down 2 governments. And these were basically driven by youth population. So it's essential that we provide opportunities for youth to go into agriculture, but to see agriculture as a business, as a money-making activity. We should not look at agriculture as just putting the seed in the soil. That is the first process in producing food. When you look at the whole value chain, you have tremendous opportunities to grow agriculture within the value chain, from production into market. So you can go into buying fresh produce, storage facilities, adding value to the produce, taking it to market information. It's in essence, agriculture provides a unique opportunity for business. And if the youth can actually be attracted to this, but we have to paint the picture of agriculture beyond the poor woman in the rural area with a hoe. We have to move into modern agricultural systems. We have to provide incentives, financial assistance, and we have a wealth of resources lying in our central banks. And because of the risk factor, they are not lending to agricultural producers. So I think here, when we talk about youth, we should not just tell them go into agriculture. We have to make them see agriculture as a money-making business that is attractive to them. I think that way we begin to see changes. And in some countries, this is beginning to happen, where government is providing opportunities for youth to go into to create their own companies, their own associations, in many areas, not only in crops, in livestock, in milk, in cheese, and what have you. So I think that the next generation of farmers are the youth of today, because if you see that the age of the average farmer today in Africa is about in their 50s, 15 years down the road, by 2030, when the world's population will increase by another 1.5 billion people, and Africa is not going to be exempted from it, we should now begin to invest in youth in agriculture, youth in business.